live button. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
We're
Now
live.
I'm serious. All right. Hey. Hi.
Hey, everybody. So, Chris, this is our first time actually talking. You realize we've known each other all this time. We've never had a conversation.
Years. And this is
Years.
no, it's
The
it's
first
it's
time.
insanity. It's
It's
insanity.
insane. Like, I cannot believe we've never even just chatted. I mean, we chat all the time, kind of.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say, like
a constant stream of conversation.
Right, but
with us.
in terms of this face to face,
Right?
seeing it, this is the first time.
This is. It's important that we do this,
Agreed.
especially given how many. All right, this is the thing. I don't remember where I know where I met you through Kevin Samuels Died, and I don't remember how I got to that group. I don't know how
it's
I got
it. It's a Facebook group, just so everyone knows.
Okay, so if everybody, whoever's there, it's a Facebook group called Kevin Samuels Died. You created it, right?
I did. It's an anti-misogyny, anti-red pill manosphere incel space. You know, with a humorous tinge, but you know, we try to be serious in terms of, you know, who we kind of represent.
Right. Okay. So I don't know how I got to that group. I do realize that I ran across your group when I was kind of on my anti-misogyny, anti-red pill. Because at the time, those guys were like really exploding in popularity. And I was like, does anybody else see this madness going on? Or is it just me? So I was kind of like trolling and pushing the edge on them. Like, you know, you're talking all this stuff, but nobody wants you anyway. And they were like super mad at me. I don't know if you realize, like I had a reputation in all of the manosphere spaces because they were so angry. Like I was angering them at the time. And this is a few years back. And so I don't know how I got to your group, but somehow I got to your group.
I remember. I can tell you. So it's funny because you mentioned this off air, but I wanted to really save it for on air because I remember clearly. So around the same time, so the impetus for me creating the Kevin Samuels Died group was I created a meme mocking Kevin Samuels. It was around Halloween. And it was one of those things where it's like a spirit Halloween costume. And I said, dead misogynist man costume, right?
Yes.
And his incel warriors came out in force, just like, how dare you? And around the same time, because this is how the algorithm works, the algorithm was suggesting me posts of yours. We weren't Facebook friends yet.
Right.
It was suggesting me posts of yours. And at that time, the same way you were saying you were kind of in your like anti-red pill bag, like I was right in that moment. So I sent a friend request. I invited you to the group. And then that's kind of how it was because it was because at the same time, we both had content that was kind of,
we were merging. Yeah. I know I ended up there somehow. And I remember that costume because I was dying. Because I was like, because that was when like he died and everybody was crying and they were all upset. And I thought it was hilarious. It was like, you know, when
I can't wait for Cinco de Mayo this year. I can't wait. Every year.
Every year. Did you? Okay. Anyway. So I was kind of antagonizing these guys because people were not paying attention. I'm gonna tell you, like, my true story is these guys were building in momentum. They were posting content that wasn't getting removed from Facebook. They were, even though it violates the standards, but they weren't getting removed. And so I was like, look, this is a battle. Like, women are in danger. I'm going to do it in a funny way, but I'm going to post these dudes so people can see it, because at that time they were kind of rolling on the radar, but they were growing in massive popularity. So that was when I was really pushing it. And then I ran into you guys. And let me just say, I know we had some epic roasts at those years. I know I started quite a few of them. Like, and it was fun. It was a good run. It was. But it's still fun in that group. It's still funny. And they're still angry. And that's why we're here today, because they're like still angry. They're still like fuming. So there was this guy that I've seen him before. I know, I think he's blocked because I can't see his posts. So I'm pretty sure
he blocked me recently too. And we'll get into why he blocked me.
So you made a post about him like last month or something, or early this month. I can't even remember. And I was like, I kind of remember this name, but I did a video on him because you actually showed that he was homeless. And I was like, you can't. be out here hating women.
So wait. So can I kind of
Yes.
set the table for the viewers here? Okay. So, I in addition to running the Kevin Samuels Died Facebook group and its various adjacent groups, we have a dating profiles group.
Yes.
It's actually bigger than the main group now.
Right.
But in addition to running those groups, I do enter pro Manosphere, pro Kevin Samuels spaces because as a heterosexual man, I truly believe in policing my own areas. And what I believe are my own areas are spaces where heterosexual men congregate. So if they're saying weird shit, I don't know. Language is that okay? No, I just want to make sure I get because I can get salty, but I can work PG and G. But I truly believe it's like, hey, if you allow the loudest voices in the room that may be the minority to dominate the conversation, then it's going to look like, oh, well, this is what men believe.
Right.
This is what the majority of men feel, and. Right. I don't know about anybody else, but the majority of men that I know, straight men, married men, men in relationships, working men, they don't think this way. They really, like in real life, when you look people in the eye, this stuff doesn't exist.
Right.
So what I really try to do is I try to, again, go in these spaces and kind of police my own areas, so to speak. So I came across this gentleman. His name is Kawan Todd. Now, he posted, kind of, stereotypical manosphere type things. Women over 30 are worthless.
I have some. You want?
Oh yeah. Oh no, you can. Post screens because I know we have the screenshots. But I was just kind of paraphrasing because it was all that kind of stuff. But if you want to, as I'm
talking, I'm gonna find one for you.
Yeah. No. So he was just like. Just stereotypical stuff, these women aren't to be trusted. You just need to use them, and that's it. All that type of, disgusting stuff. So, I challenged him on a couple of posts. Didn't say anything. Oh, here's one. Women don't want to be submissive, cook, clean, and they can't give us our own children. Why in the hell would we marry them?
Yeah, we got plenty of these.
Right. So he's talking like this. Now, initially, when I kind of challenged him on some of his points, I didn't call him out of his name. I didn't say, oh, you're this, you're that, you're a MF or anything like that. I just was like, hey, like, this is wrong. I don't think this is the right take. And he proceeded to go to my page.
Right.
See a picture of my son and I on vacation in Miami Beach, which is, I mean, like, I'm proud of that picture because I was able
he hasn't been anywhere with his kids.
I was able to afford vacation.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I could afford a flight. Like,
okay.
It's like, whatever.
Right. So anyway.
So he proceeds to call my son the homophobic F word that I'm not going to repeat. Right. He also said that I most likely molest my son,
which is just incredibly offensive and disgusting. But the fact that thought is in his head said something about
it. It speaks volumes. And I sent you some screenshots last night regarding some things that I think are in his head.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one. Do you have you want me to just throw up in order that you sent? Because I got it.
I mean, so I think that a lot of times. So a lot of it. Let me just say this, and then I'll say pull up a certain screen. Okay. So a lot of his negative rhetoric towards me is homophobic in nature. Right. So it is, I'm gay, my son's gay, we're gay together, gay. He's throwing up the trans flag, a bunch. And I'm not going to say that this is the case with, every man who's homophobic, because I promise you, it's possible to be homophobic and just not be closeted. You're just a bigot, Right. But I'm telling you, this man doth protest too much.
Right.
Do you have the screen where he's talking about a gentleman?
You just tell me.
Well, there was this one about the gaydar. I was specifically talking about the one that he posted on his own page, and it was just an older gentleman at his job saying he looked young.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, like, I like this guy told me I look like I'm 28. And I'm like, I don't know. So, but yeah, no, but in this one, the screen is currently up. You know, I said he was talking about how his gaydar never fails him. Just looking at me, and I'm being honest in my response to him, and I'll just, you know, read it. I'll say, LMFAO, I ain't never heard in my entire black ass life. I ain't never in my black ass life heard a straight nigga talking about his gaydar. My straight male friends don't come over my house and say, I think this, look at this. We don't sit here and gossip.
Like, okay, so for me, I'm so happy that you are doing what you do, because this is something I've been, you know, telling black men especially, that look, these guys are out here. And it's not women's responsibility to go into their spaces and check these dudes, but these dudes are constantly coming for us. So part of the, you know, the thing with these dudes is that they will always attack women, but they don't attack men unless a man comes into their space and like starts checking them. So I know that this guy, like I said, this guy blocked me. I don't know what I did. I can't even tell you. I probably said something. I have no idea. I don't even know how I got blocked. But this guy has been like a lot of them. They're really weird with their insults. Their insults are very homophobic, and they're always trying to say something that's pedophilic. Like everything is like really odd, and yet people are not talking about, like, to me it's like these are red flags just flying. Like, these dudes are dangerous,
right?
And we need to be paying attention and knowing who these people are, because they're walking around outside. And I agree with you, like, these dudes, the way they talk to me online, I know for a fact they won't come up to me in person. I go outside.
Ever.
I know this. I even, like, as being an older person and knowing how back in the day, like, I just want to point out, the internet has made guys who are literally nobody and women.
Emboldened them.
It has emboldened people.
I remember the 90s, okay?
Yeah, like
none of this
there was no way.
90s.
Some of these people talking reckless now would never talk like this in person now or then. And so I see these dudes and I'm like, I know how you are in public. Like, I've been outside. I know that, you know, people might see me on the internet. I'm taller than I look online. So, like, I am not scary per se, but I'm, you know, you can't miss me when I'm outside. Like, I don't think I'm as tall as what's her name? But Serotonin. But
Sarah? Oh no. Sarah's been in my house. Sarah is easily 6'1.5".
Yeah, I'm not that tall, but I'm up there.
Okay.
And I like the thing.
Wait, you want to hear something? It's funny you talk about height. So let's going back to Kawan Todd for a second. I saw a picture because I ended up, you know, doing my research. Once he suggested I molested my son, yeah, like my troll instincts kicked in, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ruin this man's life. So within 24 hours, I had his address. Within 48 hours, I had his mother and his father's address, and within 72 hours, I had his parents on the phone with me. His mother is a sweetheart. His dad, William, is a really good guy. And, you know, I had them spill all the secrets. But the reason I even say that is he, you know, you were talking about height.
Right.
In doing all of the research and things that I did, I was looking at pictures. I saw pictures of his family reunion. And I noticed something. I said, well, you know, like, I'm looking at him standing next to his 16-year-old daughter. And I'm like, hey, is your daughter tall or are you short? Because she's taller than you. How tall are you? And he kept ignoring the question. And then I looked at another picture and there was a little girl that looked to be like 11 or something. I'm like, you're her height. Like, at the fifth, how tall are you, sir? And it really, I could tell it was kind of getting to him. Spoke to his parents. Oh yeah, he's a little guy. He's a little guy.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, and I'm not like, okay.
There's nothing wrong with the short king. Nothing wrong with the short king, but
I'm gonna tread lightly. Let me just say, that I will agree that short men have a harder time with, in the patriarchy. That's the patriarchy. That's not women. I know you guys get
that's
mad at
how
women.
patriarchy affects all of us, and that's what
Right.
these
I
Negroes don't
know that
understand.
being a shorter man makes life a lot harder. But I will say that the manosphere just sucked in all the short kings because they it's almost like, it's like if you're short and you mad at women, boy, the manosphere is for you. Because they are so
open
angry.
arms. With arms wide open.
And I know that part of the issue is that they are dealing with the confines of patriarchy. They can't do the things they really want to do. So that's why I say, like, I go out in public, I see these dudes, and they usually are short dudes, and they be mad. You can see in their face. But I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you. I didn't hear nothing. Because they don't have nothing to say when you're standing in front of them. They just really talkative and loud online, but that is their only outlet. And that goes for, racist, everybody that has a big mouth online. They feel so comfortable acting a fool, but in reality, they're cowards. It comes down to they're cowards.
Here's the thing, and this is something that I've really tried to instill in my son. Right, my son's, he's shorter than me, so he's not, like a gigantic person, right? But I've always tried to instill in him a sense of being comfortable in his own skin. So, listen, if you don't get, he's about like 5'7", right? If you don't grow past 5'7", you own that. If you want to, color your hair purple or red, you own that. You do the things that are comfortable in you. And when you have self-assurance, when you're comfortable in your own skin, that's when positivity is going to come your way. People will gravitate towards you because they'll say, hey, look at this guy. He's just normal. He's doing his thing. And again, like, positive people attract positive people a lot of times. Right. Like, I don't surround myself for the most part with the negative people if I can help it, So, I just try to instill in him, like, hey, like, don't, wallow in these things. Because I'll tell you what, so just going back to Kwan for a second. So he's a short, I was going to say king, but I don't respect this guy. So he's
a little guy.
He's a little guy.
Little angry guy.
But when I spoke to his parents, they told me a lot of things. They told me about his bipolar diagnosis that he stopped taking medication for. Okay. They told me about the end of his relationship with his girl Shauna. They gave me names, they gave me names and dates and times and everything. But they told me about how after the end of that relationship, he really started to spiral into a lot of the Manosphere, Kevin Samuels content. His mom mentioned Kevin Samuels specifically before I even said anything. Like, I didn't mention that man's name until his mother said it. And then I was like, yeah, well, he's in this Kevin Samuels group, doing these things. I told his mom, I said, listen, right now I have your son's address. And if I were the goon that I was, say 25 years ago or so, I'm armed. So like, it's like I might have taken a trip up there, and it's like, if you want to have your son continue to put your granddaughter in this danger the way he is, because he's so angry about Black women, like, maybe you need to tell this Negro something, because I'm as peaceful as they come. Right.
Yeah, but we come from a pull-up generation.
I'm gonna tell you, I will actually come to your house like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
People think it's like, I don't know, man. I be wondering, like, y'all keep playing with folks. This built. We were raised in a different time.
Like, the thing is, like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't, but. I will pull up. I know people. I'd like to think that I've matured at least a little bit, but I know people for 100% fact that would pull up on him, and I'm not throwing threats out. Let's be clear.
You come from an era. You got to have goons on your squad. You got to have goons on the squad.
I know people. I could make a call right now and be like, "Hey, you busy, bro?" I know people in his neighborhood. Literally. Yeah. He lives in New York. I mean, I'm not going to dox him here, but he lives in New York. And I know people that live like 10 minutes from him that can knock on his door. But I'm not going to do that. But
We're not doing that because, honestly, if we're being honest, he's not really worth
He doesn't
the
deserve
trouble.
it. Yeah, no,
He's not. He's one of many who clearly mental health issues. Everything is adding up. Mm-hmm. Short, patriarchy ain't giving him what he thought he could have. He's angry at women, but really he's angry at the world. And he's homeless. Let's just get into the homelessness.
So I have all the tea. I have all the tea on the homelessness. So right now, currently, he does have an apartment. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
But he got that apartment recently because he brought the shelter that he was staying at to court. And I'm not exactly sure of all of the details within that court case, but the result of the court case, excuse me. Oh God, I got to take a sip of water. Sorry.
Yeah, get your water.
The result of the court case was that he got some type of a settlement, like a financial settlement. And I think the apartment was a part of that settlement. Whether it was him getting the apartment with the money or it was physically a part of the settlement, I'm not sure. But I think he got the apartment part and parcel with the settlement that he got after suing the homeless shelter he was staying in. Now,
you know why he sued the homeless shelter? I'm just curious. Like, how do you sue a homeless shelter? That's crazy.
Listen, maybe he got beat up by somebody that was, like 5'10".
Oh,
I don't know. Who's to say?
I just know. So you revealed in the group that he was homeless, and I was like, bro, I got to make a video. So I did make that video. I don't know if you saw it, but
I follow you. What are you talking about? I watch all your
Okay. I made the video.
You need to comment on your videos more because it helps engagement. I know. So I'm going to comment more. But I see all your videos.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So he commented on that video, right? I think it's him.
Yeah.
Huh? Did you see this?
I saw. So I was living out of my truck and I had $100,000. Hold on. I spoke to his parents. This is bullshit. He's lying. He's just making this like the 100. Like,
bruh, if you made $100,000 or 180 last year, you wouldn't be living in your truck, sir. I just want to point that out. And
But then he spins it to black. Look, keep this on the screen.
But they do that. They do that. This is what they do.
He says, but you have black women homeless living in a van, and her children died from hypothermia.
What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
He's right. Thank you. It's funny. My mom used to say it all the time.
What does that have to do with anything?
It has nothing to do with anything. But no, because the thing is, he's talking about hypothetical black women when he has, in a real sense, struggled with homelessness. Now he got that settlement, whatever. The truck he's talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have that now, right? He lost the truck. So he has an apartment now, but he doesn't have the truck. So he's relying on public transportation. Nothing wrong with public transportation.
Look,
but when a man comes to me and I'm sitting here and my whole black ass adult life, I've never been homeless. I've had the same car. First of all, my car is paid off. Let's just begin there, right? Like, so I don't have a car note or anything like that. Like, and this guy.
I have a car note, but that's okay. I have.
Listen,
I just got a new car.
You have your law degree, so there's lots of things.
Hey, but no, listen. I do a lot of things, but I'm living in California. I don't know how. Trying to make it as a mom by myself out here, and it's expensive. Let me just say.
Let me say, the only place that living in Jersey and the way taxes are in Jersey, the only place I'm like, it's California. Y'all gotta run. It's pricey out there, man.
It's pricey. It's worth it though. Like, yeah, I can see the ocean outside my window. Yeah. And the food is amazing. And then I don't have to put up, they have some MAGA people here. I know. They're everywhere.
Yeah, it's funny because Jersey is a blue state, but I live in a redder area of said blue state.
Yeah, so
I see cyber trucks and Trump.
Oh, they got a whole bunch of cyber trucks out here. Don't get it twisted. This is still Silicon Valley tech people, and every time I see one, I'm like, don't you feel dumb? Like, don't you feel dumb? Like, you gotta, to me, I'm like, you just look so dumb. They look so dumb. Like, so I really thought the Hummer truck was the ugliest truck ever made until the Cybertruck. And I'm like, wow, now the Hummer truck don't even look that bad to me.
Listen, this is far from an original thought on my part, but I will chime in and say and agree with a lot of the people that say that the Cybertruck literally looks like a children's drawing. It's like
it is a children's. It looks like a kid that drew a car. It's
like this is what a cool truck would look like.
Yeah, and there's so, like I said, out here there's so many of them, and I don't know where they're parking, because I feel like in San Francisco, like if you park in, like I live outside of San Francisco, but if you park in San Francisco, they're gonna vandalize your little Cybertruck. Like I don't think you park there, but you know, on the peninsula, as they say, there's a whole bunch of them, and they come in all colors. I didn't even know they had that many colors. Every time I see a new color, I'm like, wow, they made it another color.
The popular thing here in Jersey are colors and wraps and things like that. So I'll see a Cybertruck with like fake bullet holes in the side, for example, right, like, you know, because all these guys are tough guys, you know. But what let me ask you a question. I'm like real quick, just an aside about Teslas in general, because I've seen this in the wild. I'm wondering, not just Cybertrucks, but Teslas in general. Have you seen any of the people who are putting
the fake emblems,
the logos of other cars? Yes.
I have not paid close attention. I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's so many Teslas here. Like I said, here it's like it was Tesla madness, because you know the factory where they make them is not far from me. Right. So there have been plenty of Teslas here. But yeah, I saw that online and I haven't paid attention because I hate Teslas anyway. Like
I've seen at least two in person, and the funny thing is one of them it was the Nissan emblem, but the reason I recognized it is because my ex-wife, before all the Elon madness, she got a Tesla, so it was her model of car, and I'm like, hey, I know that car. That is not a Nissan.
You're like, no, we see you. Stop it right now. I mean, I get it, because I mean, like, where is it? One guy in Massachusetts, they're like terrorizing him, and he's like, I'm being terrorized because I have a gold Cybertruck, and I'm like, bruh, just get rid of it. Like, just take the L. I just want all Tesla owners to just take that L. Like, just sell it, get rid of it. Because you're just driving a swastika car, and somebody's gonna write a swastika on your swastika car.
My ex-wife got her a Tesla. No, she got one of those stickers for the back where it's like, hey, like I got this well before he went crazy. And I'm like,
he was always racist. He was always racist. Let's just be real, because I don't know if you guys remember this.
Emerald mine.
Yeah, like forget that. Even Tesla had the lawsuit where they were calling people the N-word at the factory. And that was what, 7 years ago? It's been a while.
At least 7-8 years ago.
So it's the smoke is always been there.
It was well before the pandemic. So
like, I get mad at myself, for example, I like Harry Potter. I love the books. I love the series. I said we should have known something was wrong with J.K. Rowling. She had the racial slurs in her books, and I even the first time I heard it, I was like, that's a little too close to the N-word. Like, it just felt like, even in my soul, I was like, I feel like this is a racist talking. But I was like, but, you know, they're trying to make a slur for the non-magical people. You know, I went with it. But when you really pay attention, you're like, we should have known she was prejudiced all along. Like, we saw it the whole time. It was right in our face. And we were just so happy to be watching the little witches and wizards. And
I can call you a mugga with an A.
But like, listen, like we see it and we just want to just ignore it. And I am guilty of doing those types of things. But
absolutely, because at the end of the day, Black people, just like anyone else, we want to consume content. We want to enjoy fantasy and you know.
I think we want convenience. Somebody, Fire and Silver said, anyone who did any research on cars would have known to buy anything else, and it's true. Like, if you just pay attention, you would be like, that's not for me. Yeah, absolutely. But like, even right now, like all the stuff that's going on in the world, I just gave up my Amazon Prime. Like, I just did it. Like yesterday, I was like,
yeah,
you damn Nazis. I'm just not gonna give you my money. But it's the convenience. You know, I realize it's not as convenient anymore, and I'm gonna pay a little bit more. But then I have that peace of mind that I'm not supporting these fascists and these racists and stuff. And like I say, it's painful. Like, there's, you know, you're right. We want to consume. We want things. We want to be able to do certain things, and then we also have this responsibility to society. Like, I'm definitely with the 92%. Like, we ain't protesting. I ain't going outside. That's all on y'all. But I'm making conscious decisions about how I spend my money.
Absolutely. But I think we also have to be cognizant of the daily pressure and exhaustion that we feel by having to feel that way and perceive that way when white people, and I'm sorry, white people, this is what it is, can just kind of act with impunity.
Right. All the time.
And they can just kind of like go where they want, buy what they want. They're not concerned. They're not worried about representing all white people or anything like that. And to bring this back to kind of the main topic that we started in the first place, a lot of these people, a lot of these manosphere, incel, red pill types like Kawan Todd, when they go into these groups, one of the things that entices them is a proximity to whiteness.
Yes.
To white maleness.
Yes.
So what you have in a lot of these groups are folks who walk through life with that same impunity that I was just discussing, but they go into these groups with burner accounts to rile up these black men. And a lot of these black men who are hurt because maybe they, have underlying mental health issues that they're not taking care of. Maybe they have a relationship that went south. Maybe they were wronged, like legitimately wronged. It happens, but they never dealt with that in a positive or healthy way, in any sense, whether it's therapy, whether it's just talking to friends, right? They never did any of that kind of work. Now they're all riled up. And some guys like, yeah, these black women suck. And then, you laugh at a meme, and next thing you know, you're a fucking idiot.
In fact, I made a post about this. Hold on, let me see if I can get it up.
No, go ahead.
But I want to talk about how, I don't know if you noticed, black women are taking care of their mental health. Black women are going to therapy. Yeah. Black women are like doing the damn thing. They're getting the meds if they need the meds. Like whatever it is, black women are on it. And so, actually, I'm going to put this up. Let me see if I can get up.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So I made this post the other day because I just noticed how men, not just black men, but men in general, just avoid doing the therapy thing. Mm-hmm. And hold on, let me see here. Everything's going. Can't be fast when you're doing stuff live. It just doesn't happen.
You know what I'll do while you're looking for it. Watch this.
I got it.
No, I was gonna say I'll just entertain people with. Don't look at Kai. Just look at me. Just while she's looking for it. Just chill. No, don't you look at me. You look for the thing that you're looking for.
I am looking for the thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at the screen.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
Okay. All right. But I got it up. Boom. Okay. All right. So I've said I'm convinced that men avoid therapy or anything that requires real change because deep down they're scared, like little kids scared. When they think of therapy, all they see is the boogeyman waiting to confront them. And I say this because I have had experiences with men, relationships and otherwise, where they are exhibiting all sorts of obvious mental health conditions. And you say to them, hey, bro, you got to go get some therapy. Go talk to somebody. Go get professional help. You'll feel better. Like, that's the other thing is you'll feel better if you treat this. But the amount of men like Kawan Todd, like people I know personally who will rage and rant and rage and do all sorts of stuff, crazy stuff online, just like Kawan Todd. Because I find that a lot of these dudes turn to the internet, like to social media as their therapy. Like they want to go out there and they rage online. And I'm starting to think that it's just a fear. Like they're scared. Like they think that the therapist is going to, I don't know, attack them or something.
I think that there's probably some fear with some men, and I don't know if we talked about this off air or on air, or it's something that I talk about all the time. So I don't know if I'm repeating myself or not. If I am, forgive me. But I think the bigger problem with men not seeking out therapy is that, again, just like women are, and not to the same degree, but just like women are, men are victims of patriarchy, right?
Mhm.
And the way society is set up, it doesn't encourage men to create the same senses of community,
Right.
right? So, you know, a guy isn't going to go to a therapist if he doesn't have, you know, even a strong group of male friends that he can talk about his emotions with. Like, he's not going to take that next step. So I'm a gigantic proponent of therapy. I've been
Right.
in therapy. You know, I don't think there's any shame in it.
Right.
You
I've
know,
been in therapy. Let me
I
just tell you, therapy saved my life. I
yeah,
don't know.
no, I
Like
mean,
people.
you know, we're talking, got 15 years. I've, you know, at least since my kid was little, right?
Mhm.
Um, I had a long-term therapist that passed away, right? This
That's
is
tough.
a little bit of a while. I mean, it's okay, but yeah, but you know, she passed away, but she was great. And you know, currently I've been kind of dating around a little bit with therapists because I found one that I thought was okay, and then I didn't really feel that comfortable, and I was like,
And
okay,
you do have to do that. That's the other thing. You don't just, pick a name out the phone book or whatever,
right,
and
and then that person
you
gonna solve
gotta
all your
you gotta
problems.
feel
No,
around and find the right person that understand. Like you gotta like their style of therapy for you,
right.
because some people will say something crazy and you be like, yeah,
And you're
this
like, what are
ain't
you even
maybe
talking
this ain't
about?
gonna
So
work for me.
yeah, so for me, but like what the reason I'm bringing up my own personal situation is because I'm currently in a process of work. Like, this is not an easy part. What was easy was talking to my late therapist who knew all my ins and outs. They could really like guide me in a way, and it was simpatico. It was just everything was clicking, firing all cylinders, and I felt great. But a lot of times when men don't, I think again, because of the way society is kind of set up, women tend to have more sense of community.
We
You
do,
know, you know what I mean?
because
It's
we
like
do.
there's
We
just
we are we collaborators. Women are collaborators.
yeah,
We work
and
together.
I don't think men are incapable of this.
I don't think men are incapable of it, but women have had to be collaborators for survival reasons.
Exactly. Right.
And
No,
so
100%.
yeah, so I think that because we have to depend on each other to survive. It's just been over the decades, centuries, we just have developed more of a sense of community.
Yeah.
And I also think that men depend on women to develop community. And that's why so many men are always, so many men look to women or romantic partners as their emotional outlet, or where their
Oh,
emotional well-being comes from. And so I agree with you that it's the men are not encouraging their friends to get therapy, and talking about, like, I agree with all of that, and I do see it as it's patriarchy and sexism is why. And every time I like there's a few guys out there that I know personally, they've been kind of making the journey over the decades. Like they're kind of sort of getting it, because they were like complaining about how they have to be strong all the time and nobody's helping men and blah 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 blah, whatever. And we're suffering, and that's why the suicide rate's so high. And I always, when I see the post, I'm like, it's because of patriarchy. And then
and
and
then
then they
they
get
go,
mad and they're
oh,
like, you don't know what you're talking about, and then they get really raged out. But I do it every time because it's, like I said, it's this one guy in particular. I would say of the past 15 years, he's been slowly trickling. He hasn't quite gotten it yet, but I've been watching him trickle from saying homophobic things and realizing that's not okay.
that's not it. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
look, like
But I mean, like he said sexist things, not that. It's like it's like he's made the journey over years, and it's slowly seeping in that he knows something's wrong, but he can't quite fit his finger on it. But every time I point out it's patriarchy, he gets mad. He just doesn't want. It's like they don't want to let go of that one thing that gives them power, but is also harming them. It's like it's
right,
hurting you, it's hurting you, it's hurting you, but it's my power, but it's hurting you. Let it go.
right.
That's the part that always tickles me. It's like, come on, let it go. You almost there. Every time I see it, I'm like, you're almost there.
Going back to what you were saying about fear, I think that that's definitely a space where fear absolutely plays a part. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just like you said, like they don't want to let it go. And the thing is, right? You know, it's like it reminds me of green eggs and ham, right? Where before Sam I Am tried the green eggs and ham. He was like, "This, oh my god, like
I don't want it.
I
Get
don't,
away
I don't
from
want it." If you just let a lot of that male ego go,
Yes.
right? If you just let it go, I'm just speaking from personal experience. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, or I feel like we're all works in progress.
Yes.
But I definitely feel better than I did, say, 15 years ago before I started my therapy journey, before you know what I mean? And a lot of these guys that, you know, in your comment sections and things, when you bring these things up and you talk about patriarchy, you know, I would just ask them seriously, how many group chats do they have with like straight male friends of theirs?
Yeah. Well,
I have a group of men, three of whom, including myself. So there's four of us. Three of us are fathers. We got one single bachelor kind of guy. The other two are married. We're talking, you know, responsible, you know, just well-adjusted heterosexual men. And not that heterosexuality matters, but to a lot of these men, it does.
Right.
I'm just, you know what I mean? But it's like, hey, like, do you have a friend group, or, you know, like a social circle where you can sit here and be like, hey, man, I had a hard day and like this was going on and that was going on. And you have other men who can talk to you and be like, hey, like I went through a similar thing, or hey, man, like you need to chill out. Like maybe you're out of pocket right now. Like, to kind of like, do you have any of that? I can say I have that, but that was a conscious choice. On my end. The men that I'm talking about right now, I've known, God, literally since high school. Everybody in that little chat I went to high school with, and we all have bad backs. Okay.
I would say I can't find it anymore, but I ran across a study. This is a long time ago, and it talked about men friend groups based on race and the support that they get from it. And it turns out Black men are more likely to have male friends, platonic friends. I can't find this damn study. I've looked for it again. But what they found is that white men don't have male bonds or friendships. They're the least likely to have those types of friendships. And it shows, they were saying like the callousness that comes out of men when they have friend support and family support and they don't. It showed that somehow like white men, I think they have a higher suicide rate than Black men. And so that was like, it was interesting. Just I wish I could find it again to see.
I think there's definitely something to that. Just because, and so going back to something we were talking about before, when I was talking about how Caucasians are able to maneuver through life with a certain sense of impunity, right? If you remember, you were talking about how you know, women, Black women in particular, have to have that sense of community as a survival strategy, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like I have my Black male friends, and it's the same kind of thing. Like we talk about police brutality and and things like that. So when you don't have that survival need, because you can kind of walk through with impunity, it would stand to reason that white men would kind of be like the most isolated and not have large friend groups. Now, with that being said, I'm just being fair. I'm not going to dox anybody because internet people are weird, but in the chat that I'm talking about, the group chat, there are absolutely Caucasian men. But what I will say is these are like-minded Caucasian men. These are the same types of men that will also police their own areas, will also, you know, speak up if they're at the country club and, you know, somebody says something out of pocket and it's like, well, hold on, what do you mean by that? Like, it's those kind of people. And I think what's important, particularly for men to do, is seek out those people, because the pool can be so small, or it can seem small because of everything we've described. And you might feel like, oh, there's no, like, I'm just by myself. So a lot of times I think some of the weaker men will go towards the manosphere content because it's almost like any port in a storm. So it's like, at least I have some kind of community, some kind of team, somebody, you know.
Well, they do. Although I feel, because the manosphere is not as big. Well, how do I say? It's dying. I feel like it's dying. I feel like they've been exposed as clowns, like all of their leaders. I mean, Kevin Samuels freaking died with a woman that
Big
he
booty
may have
Latino
paid
on him,
to
like
have sex with cocaine in the system, and he
listen. I because
look,
I'm
look,
because
and
I'm
then
petty.
what's the other two? They got demonetized, and the Andrew Tate.
Listen, Andrew Tate, Derek Jackson,
Like everybody can see that these are losers. Like you guys have always been losers, and you got a little popularity. I hate when a loser guy gets popular because then their ego blows up and they think they're special, and it's like, nah, you still a loser. You're still a loser.
Listen.
You're always going to be a loser.
I looked because I'm petty. I looked up the square footage of where Kevin Samuels was living, right?
But then it was a sublet too, right?
Right. That's the other thing. So
he just made enough money on YouTube not to get an actual lease.
Wait, I have everything that Kevin Samuels had in terms of his personal life, and I've made enough money on the internet where I've literally taken my son on vacation to the point where incels are making fun of the fact that I went on vacation. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying the opposite. I am just a guy.
Right.
This shirt. This is a regular T-shirt that I'm wearing. Okay,
right.
I mean, yeah, this is Ralph Lauren. The sweat. No, I'm joking. But I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. And Kevin Samuels is just a fucking guy. Andrew Tate is just a fucking guy.
Right. But I want to be specific. I want to be specific because these guys, all of the leaders of the red pills, they're all losers. I want to be very clear that these are the very men, like Andrew Tate. He's not attractive. He's not. Nobody wants him as much as he acts like he can get. That he doesn't. Kevin Samuels, no, women were not checking for him at all. The other two ugly ones that had the little thing on YouTube, I can't even think of their names. Nobody was checking for them. Nobody is checking for you. Like, I know that they were like, oh, I made this money. And some women are like, they don't want you. They want the money. Like, let's just be clear. If you are somebody that women want, they want you. They don't want what you can provide them. And so all of these guys, like, it always tickles me because when they're in my comments and they're saying crazy stuff to me, I'm just laughing. They make me laugh because this is all they have. Right. All they have is the internet and the ability to jump on and type their angry little messages and maybe get a reaction. Maybe at this point, it's not, women are not even reacting. Women are like checking out, like, okay. Cause I know I did, like, after I said, okay, people are seeing it now. Like, once I got that kind of momentum, I'm like, all right. Cause now y'all are getting on my nerves. Cause they were just,
it's funny that one thing, and this is just kind of an aside, but I've seen it more than once with these guys. This is just speaking to what you were saying about maybe they'll get a reaction, right? I've literally seen group posts where a guy will say something wild and there will be 100 responses and the guy will be like, oh, now because y'all bitches are mad, I'm going viral.
And, they live for the attention.
But what's funny is, and again, this isn't me tooting my own horn or essing my own D, but like, y'all are saying like 100 comments are viral. Like, I've literally had a million, like, I've had millions of people. Like, my stuff's been on television. Y'all don't know what viral is. This is just like 100 people who think you're dumb. That's not good. Like, why do you like? Why? Why is there attention you're craving?
There's that guy. He pops up all the time. Really fat guy. I think his name is Stacy. You've seen
Stacey Womack. Oh, I made a music video about him.
Right. Yeah. He's gone viral multiple times over the past year because of something ignorant he said about women. But it was clear after, like,
I made a music video about him that got 2 million views, by the way.
Right. Like he that was the one he first popped up, and it was funny. Mm-hmm. But then I realized that he kept doing it because that was his kink. Like, these dudes have a humiliation kink. Yeah. And they want people to react, to respond to, whatever dumb thing that they say. And I'm like, bruh, after like the third post, you gotta ignore them. Like, at some point, we gotta
you can't give them the energy. And here's one funny thing. One funny thing about Stacy and a few of his ilk, right? A lot of times when they go viral, they might do big numbers to a certain degree on one post or two, right? But when you look at their follower counts and you look at their overall general engagement, what I can tell you, knowing how a monetized page works, they're not making any money. They're number one, they're not monetized. Number two, there's no advertisements going on or anything like that. So all of this is ego. And while I do like to entertain people online, I live a real life. So if the internet wasn't working for me to a certain degree, I wouldn't spend my energy. First of all, I don't spend my energy on negativity anyway. Usually I'm just trying to make people laugh. I'm just chilling.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't even, I would honestly go get another job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like for me, it's like sometimes I don't make content as much as I should. I realize that people like the stuff that I make, and I appreciate that because
you got to do more Facebook stuff. I know why you don't. I know you because
I know why I don't. You know why I don't? Because Facebook,
I know.
I was getting over 100,000 engagements a month, and they dropped my engagement. So I was like, "You dropped my engagement. I just don't post."
They dropped mine. 3 million people in the past couple weeks for me. I'm just saying, you get.
I know, but I just
in the game.
You know what I noticed? Just so we know. First of all, F Facebook. Facebook can go to hell. Racist piece of trash. I don't like Facebook. I don't know if y'all know that.
I'll make you
first.
Okay.
First of all, when you post on Facebook, post a link. Like this is linked. Like this today was linked. So people get off the platform because they can't make any money if they hopping off the platform all the time. So that's my first.
Hold on. I'll make a deal with you because I didn't tell you this. You know, YouTube nuked my my channel, right?
No.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you haven't seen things you don't see every day. On
that's whack.
Years of work just nuked it because a couple people reported it. It's fine. So, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a deal with you. I've been slacking on getting back onto YouTube and building that back up.
Okay.
But I've been continuing to build my Facebook. If you get back on your Facebook,
it's funny. Okay,
I'll motivate you and you motivate me to get back on YouTube.
Okay, so the second thing is Facebook. They'll drop my engagement. I get more engagement on Threads from the exact same post. Like I had a post. I put them on both. I'll get 100 views on Facebook and I'll get 10,000 on Threads. And so I know that they're deliberately, whatever, they throttling my engagement.
They do it to all Black creators. It's not
right. What I noticed though, like, listen, y'all, this is a little secret. If Facebook drops your engagement, stop posting and watch what happens. Because I stopped posting like a week or two ago. I was like, you just gonna get links. You don't want to show people my stuff. And then Facebook will slowly start showing your old posts to your followers. And you post a little bit at a time, they'll start push. Like this week, I posted a little bit more, got way more engagement than I did the week before. So it's like y'all can play games with the algorithm if you want to. Because you want me to pay to boost. No, I ain't paying. You want me to post just pictures? Because I noticed also, I don't know if you saw the experiment. I posted 3 different pictures to see which one people saw. And Facebook has this thing. They just want me to be pretty. They don't want me to say anything political. They just want me to post things. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to give you what you want. Because Facebook trains people. Like, I don't know if people are paying attention, but Facebook is training you to post certain types of content. Either it's rage bait, or it's something else, whatever they've decided you are for their platform. So you got to pay attention to what gets engagement and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. And then you start training Facebook. Like, oh, nobody wants to see my post? Cool. No more posts for you. And then Facebook is like, wait, come back. So they just changed my monetization on Facebook. And they're like, we'll pay you for videos because they didn't want to pay me for videos. So that's why I never posted videos. Now they're like, we'll pay you for videos. I'm like, well, maybe I'll post a video.
But see, this is the importance of having other interests, other things in life, having a sense of community, touching grass. You and I are both parents. I'm sure you've seen all my posts. I see all your posts with your daughter. You're a theater mom. What I mean? Like we have stuff going on. Right. So it's like we're not, like just so mentally online. And I think that breeds for better content, frankly, because we're actually.
And also, it's a generational thing. We didn't grow up with the internet, and so there's this connection to real life that I can't give up. Like being online all the time gets on my freaking nerves. Like after a while, I'm just like, shut up. Like all the voices on the internet, irritate my soul. I don't think people realize how much of an introvert I am. And like sometimes I see stuff, especially with the world being the way it is right now, like sometimes I'm just like, I'm checking out because in my house, I'm at peace with my family. I'm at peace. I'm doing stuff. I'm cooking food. I'm eating good. I'm watching movies with my kid. I'm chilling. You know, I'm doing these like outside things. Like I can't wait for the weather to warm up so I can hit the beach. Like there's so much.
Man, it's actually a really nice day in Jersey right now.
It's a really nice day here too, but it's like tomorrow will be better. But I gotta work. I can't sneak off to the beach. I could. I might. I have a little bit of time, but like, you know, I live a real life with human beings, and you know, the people who are younger, they're always online. In fact, my daughter, I love her high school because they lock their phones up in the yonder pouches, so they don't.
Oh yeah.
So you can see that at her school, those teenagers are used to talking to each other because they can't have their phones. So it changes how you interact with the world. My daughter, she does have an Instagram. I wouldn't let her have TikTok because TikTok is weird. I don't know what's going on there. But you can tell that her, you know, interaction with her friends, she's not constantly trying to post or anything. It's just she's living in the real world. So I appreciate that I'm raising a kid that knows, hey, there's an actual world. You can touch things out here.
And you know, I'll say, I definitely see what you mean in terms of, you know, the way you describe how your daughter's kind of moving through the world. I think that just my own experience with my son, so they don't lock their phones up in the same way at his school, for example. But I have seen that his generation will, my son and his friends, they will text each other and they will message each other to make plans and things, but they're not really like on social media.
Yeah, you know, I think how old is your son?
He's 17. He's going to be 18 in May.
Okay, so my daughter's a year younger, and the Gen Zers are funny. Like, I'm sure you get all sorts of joy about the stuff that they say. Like, he probably comes in and says something crazy, and you're like, wow. Like, that Gen Z group, I have hope.
No, they're good. They're good.
They're like awesome. Like, they're an awesome bunch, you know, but it's like they just got a little bit of edge, not too much. They just like a little bit. And my daughter, she, like, you know, they do text, does your son go to the mall? Because she asked to go to the mall.
There's a mall literally less than a mile.
And they go, like, they're like the first generation of young people to kind of go hang out at the mall since we hung out at the mall. And I like when she did that, I was like, you wanna go to the mall? Like, I was confused.
What I was gonna say though is, and this might be, I'm not gonna say might be, because I think it's pretty anecdotal in my sense. I'm very active and seen online, and that's been the case my son's whole life.
Right.
I was literally getting interviewed by newspapers because of stuff I was doing on Reddit when he was like 3. You know, so I think his generation, to a certain degree, sees that social media can be kind of an all-encompassing thing, and I think some of them don't necessarily even want that.
Yeah.
So like, you know, my he's much more private than I am, right? Like, so he's just like kind of,
it seems like I don't know. It's like they came up in an era. I feel like the kids that are a little bit older, like the people who are in their 20s now, had like a lot more like cyber bullying, and you know, a lot more of the fear of missing out, whatever that is, the FOMO. And I feel like she just doesn't care. like they just
that's my son. He doesn't give a shit.
Like, she just like, you know, she's cool. She's a cool kid. She's just like, oh, you know, like it's really like I don't care. Like, you know, she's not checking for anybody's, you know, Instagram, and she knows that. Don't get me wrong, there are kids in her generation that are obsessed with it, and she knows them, but she's like, when she's around them, she's like, all I do is make TikTok videos, mom. Like, she and you can see in her face, she's just like, like, it just seems so lame to her. And it's funny to me because I'm like, I didn't force this on her. This is literally the personality that she has, where she's just like, yeah, that's like, in fact, she's annoyed at me. I do more social media than her, and she's like, oh, like, and it might be.
You know how many times Christian has rolled his eyes at me because I've been like, hey, can you film this thing with me in a puppet?
Oh shit! Look, I'm like, look, I gotta do one picture. Like, we gotta have content. I make money off of this, child. And she's like, she pulls out the camera. She's like, it's like,
that was me when I took him to Christian to Miami, because I'm like, listen, man, like I'm trying to keep this gravy train going. So I need to. So it
was with me and her in New York. I'm like, take the damn picture. And she's like you, and I'm like, put some effort in it, like make it good. Jesus Christ. Like, and it might be that we as their parents are content creators, so therefore it's lame. Like it, you know, it might be that. I don't know. Yeah. But it took
there was a sketch show, sketch comedy show on MTV back in the day called The State, right? Mm-hmm. And there was this one sketch they did, and it was called Doug. And basically Doug was a teenage son, and no matter what his dad said, he was like, I'm Doug, and you're the corny dad. I'm out of here. But the dad was like, yo, you want to smoke some weed? Oh, you want to hang out with your uncle Bob Dylan? Like, he was just saying like everything that was like the coolest thing a parent could do. And no matter what, Doug was like, no, you're dad and I'm Doug, and that's it. I don't think we'll ever be super cool. I think my son thinks I'm a little cool.
I will admit that I okay. Two things. One, I don't know if my child, she doesn't think I'm lame. I know that. Like she's okay with me being around her friends. I am the mom that volunteers backstage at every show, and all of her friends like me. Like all of her friends like, so I'm like passable mom, like your mom's cool. She's, you know, and they all talk to me, and I feel really lucky to have this type of relationship where my child talks to me about everything, and her friends will sit and chit chat with me. And I think to me it's a little weird because I'm like, why do kids talk to me? Like, like first of all, I'm an old parent. Like, y'all don't want to put me in a corner and ignore me, but they're actually very chatty with me. But I don't think that I can embarrass my child. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't get any cringe. Like I know what you mean. I haven't gotten the cringe thing, like, oh, mom, why are you embarrassing me? Like in front of my friend. I don't get any cringe. And I know that that's part of like the parent experience. And I feel like I'm missing out. Like, you know, what can I do to get some parental cringe? I'm not getting enough cringe. And I feel like, and this is the thing, I feel like her dad is hogging all the cringe. Like,
that might be it. Maybe
like with her dad, she's like, oh no, please, like I don't want him there, mom, because no, and I'm like, wait a minute, he gets all the cringe. I gotta get a little bit. I feel like you're gonna be out of high school next year, and I'm not gonna have any cringe. I need to experience the cringe. Like I did something that was so embarrassing. My child was like, I don't know her. I haven't gotten that yet. Like I show up at school, I pick her up, drop her off. There's no cringe. I'm missing out. I feel like I'm missing out on a piece of parenthood where my child is embarrassed at something that I did, and I feel like I should get some cringe. I don't know. Like maybe that's just me, but
just a little.
Maybe this broadcast will give me a little cringe and be like, Mom, why were you talking about me? Like
you gotta tag her in it if you want maximum cringe.
I just need some cringe. Just a little bit of cringe. I just need to experience what it's like, oh, that's what that feels like. I've embarrassed my child. That's nice. Or is it not nice? I don't know. I don't know what that's like. So I haven't gotten my cringe. And she's almost, like I said, she turned 17 this summer. So we got one year between our two.
Yeah, and it goes quick, you know.
Oh man, it's like yesterday I had this.
I am going to be housing an adult in a little over a month, and I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Wait, you know what I thought about? I swear I thought about this yesterday because it's weird that it just dawned on me just now. But he's gonna have to sign up for the draft for the whatchamacallit.
Oh my god, yeah, the military draft.
Yeah, the selective service or what's it called?
Because he's 18 and that's still legal. That's crazy.
That's still the law of the land, and
right.
And we live in a world where like there could be a draft.
And you know the sad part is we could have a war.
Draft is good. Draft
we could have a war. We could have a war with the idiot. So that doesn't feel good.
maybe I instituted a draft. We don't know. A draft could be good. Buy Teslas.
Please stop.
Teslas.
I can't stand that thing. I honestly cannot stand him. Like everything about his existence, just.
I voted against him twice, and I can't stand Hillary Clinton. What are we talking about?
Right. I listen. It's not even that I hate Hillary. It's just I don't understand white people, and I've just like you voted for a full out felon. Like you clicked felon over qualified Black and Asian woman. Felon. The thing is crazy to me is like he's convicted. Like it's not, like maybe he's an actual felon and they still voted for him and now they're acting surprised. What about my Medicaid? What about my Social Security? He's a felon. He's literally a criminal. You voted for somebody who was going to steal from you and he was convicted of stealing. I don't understand.
Wait. Criminality aside, you have people like Bannon and people like Musk at right-wing, conventions and things, literally throwing up Nazi salutes.
Right.
That's where we're at.
Like, and you're like, oh no, it wasn't. Like, bro, I can't. Like, I'm just. Like,
I work with a couple of white guys that are adamant that those weren't Nazi salutes, and people are just blowing that up.
Listen, I don't even have the capacity, the space. This is why Black people are doing line dances and ignoring y'all, cause y'all are foolish, and we're just done. Like I'm one of the Black people that like I'm in the 92%. I'm checking out. I'm like y'all deal with it. Y'all take care of whatever it is, cause you asked for this. This is what you asked for. You asked to be robbed of your rights. You wanted this, and I don't care how much you complain now. You can cry about it. I don't give a damn. I don't.
Can I wrap it back around to the original point where we were talking about like the menace for people like Kawan Todd? Mm-hmm. So what I think is you just mentioned the percentage that you were a part of. Thank you. Like, yeah. right? But
Black women tried to save y'all. Y'all don't want to listen to us.
But you know what's crazy? A lot of these Black men who are being kind of suckered in by these manosphere talking points are being shown that as a pejorative, where it's like, oh, this is what Black women voted for. You know who the second highest group that voted for Kamala Harris was?
It was Black men.
Black men, right?
No, but they've always tried that. Like, this is the thing. They've always, like, I know that y'all were like in the 80s something, and that's cool because that's still the majority. But they've always tried to pit Black women and Black men against each other 100%. By saying that Black men were voting for Trump, and that was bullshit the whole time. Right. We knew it was.
But again, that goes back to what I was saying about policing my own areas, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think the number was like 86, 87. That's a fucking high. That's a high number. Like
that's a high number.
So
like the 13% that voted for Trump, y'all are stupid, and I hope you suffer. But you ain't that many.
As a part of that, and again, I don't have the number in front of me, so let's lowball it and just call it 80. I'm a part of that 80%, right? That 80% is bigger than that 20%, but that 20% is really loud online. But so I feel like it's important for someone like myself to go online and be like, nah, 80% of us think you guys are fucking stupid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because what I've noticed about, and again, I'm a Black man, so I'm not picking against my own side. I mean, that's fucking stupid anyway, but like whatever. But people will look at it that way. But what I'll say is, you don't see the same thing with Black women. You don't see the Candace Owenses of the world, for example, dominating the conversation online in comparison to that 96, 95, 97% or whatever it was. Right.
Well, because Candace is stupid and no one cares. Like no one.
And it's like pretty much just her. But like, but that's what I'm saying. It's like
let's just be honest. Like, I'm gonna speak on Candace Owens real quick. I don't pay attention to Candace Owens because Candace Owens is an opportunist. She was a liberal, whatever. She had a whole website before she jumped on this conservative bullshit bandwagon. She's she's just following wherever the money takes her. So whatever money somebody offers her, she gonna take the money. She's an opportunist. That's why you can't even I can't even get upset or angry at anything she says, because if you go back and see where she started, you're like, oh, it's all fake, and therefore it doesn't mean anything. So every time people get outraged, I'm like, stop paying fucking attention to her. She ain't saying nothing. She just following whatever somebody pays her to do. She's just gonna do it. Like if you had 100,000 and you were like, hey, Candace Owens, say I love being a black woman, she gonna say I love being a black woman. It is what it is. Like she's not somebody you can pay attention to, because opportunists are always going to take the opportunity to make some money. So she just
absolutely. And the thing about it is, like I said, because it's like she's basically being drowned out by the 96%. Like, if I'll put it this way, if we flip the numbers and 80% of black women voted for Kamala and 96% of black men, and it's like, the dynamic was a little different, I wouldn't feel as compelled to police I would still police my own areas because that's just kind of who I am, but I wouldn't feel as if it wouldn't feel as urgent. Right. Because I feel like more of the manosphere men are emboldened than like trad wives or whatever the equivalent. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like are trad wives making a lot of traction in the black community? Like, nah, like nobody cares. Like,
I want to actually, because we're talking about like the 80 something percent and the 92%. I want to point out something that constantly goes online that's misinformation. Okay. That there's this constant thing to pit black men and black women against each other, and it's not real. Like, I just want to point out that every time, especially when a black woman posts about something that black men have done, which is actually real, there'll be a black dude from the manosphere that jumps up in the comments and say, you always trying to, pit black men and black women against each other, and that's the problem. And that's not true. Because in reality, my real lived reality is that, there are a bunch of idiot black men out there doing dumb stuff and paying attention to the manosphere. Yeah. And they're a vocal minority. I'm always aware of this. I also realize how dangerous this group gets when they have this ability to be so vocal. That's why I've always said, hey, pay attention. These Bamas y'all need to say something to these Bamas. They getting out of hand. Like, it might be a small group, but that small group can cause a lot of havoc. So we need to just, pay attention to what they're doing. But at the same time, I've always, even like today, like me and you, we've been cool. Like, we've been cool. There's no, tension between black men and black women. Like, this whole narrative of trying to divide and conquer black folks by pitting black men and black women against each other and saying that there's this thing to push us against each other, when really in reality, we ain't against each other. Like, I will say that black women are still fighting patriarchy, and there's a lot of black men that don't acknowledge that this is a real thing, but we're not against black men. And I think that there is a vocal minority of black women who are against black men, but it's really small. It's small. As a group, black folks really just kicking it together all the time.
That's what I'm gonna say. And I'm gonna get a little personal, not too personal, but just bear with me. So I recently went through a breakup, right? With a black woman. And, what I've seen a lot of black men do is, in their moments of hurt, right? Rather than going to their community, rather than going to, their friends and talking things through and all that, they'll jump on this manosphere stuff. And it would be real easy for me to be like, God, look, this bitch, let me tell you what she did. And that's why these bitches. And it's like, man, like, nah, like that. I'm never gonna be in a position where I am not going to uplift black women, because it might sound cliche. I really don't care. This is true. I was birthed from a black woman. I talked to my mother yesterday. You know what I'm saying? There's no universe where I'm going to sit here and be like, oh, well, because this one person wronged me or what have you, I'm going to be, all y'all black bitches are the same. Get out of my fucking face with that. Like, no. Like, we're like this. We're all in this together. And I feel like my job, I don't say my job, but like, again, we've talked in this conversation before about like the responsibility that black people feel we have, just kind of in general. Like, I feel the responsibility to protect and uplift my people. Right. I just feel that way. You're not going to get me to sit here and say black women ain't shit for anything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I mean, I can even throw my personal experience. I've had some really horrible breakups. I don't know. You remember the last person I was in a relationship with? The breakup was really ugly. Now I didn't share any of it. Like I was like, but I have never taken my personal experience with Black men, even if they did something really horrible, and say all Black men are horrible. Like it's just that individual is a horrible person.
What I can tell you about your content over years, because I followed it, is it's the same thing I try to do with my content, and it's that you're consistent in your messaging, right? Yes. So, I mean, listen, like I spy on my friends a little bit. I see when you got a man and so so it's like, okay, like I've seen it's like, okay, in single mode, in dating mode, in whatever mode, this is her message consistently.
Yes.
And, I mean, I don't think the men in your life have really been like, oh, she's just some raging feminist.
No, well, like you probably missed it because if you don't amplify, if you're the person,
oh no,
if you're the person with the light, you can decide.
They try to dim you. Wait, are you talking about people trying to dim your light? Oh man,
like if you're the person that has a light and they trying to throw mud and whatever, if you don't shed any light on it, nobody notices it. And then so therefore, like for me, I went through some, like some people know, I went through some ugly things, and I even did, like I think I did a video, but it's on my members only side. Okay. But the thing is, like, my thing is, when I have dealt with Black men who have done bad things to me, I don't blame all Black men for that.
Right.
Because I see everybody as an individual. Absolutely. And some people are assholes. Like
no group is a monolith. That's
like there's some people that are good people, and then you'll find your tribe. Like I, like you, surround myself with positive people. And if you show that you're not a positive person, you're gonna make an exit one way or the other. Like I'm gonna get you out of my life one way or the other. You're not gonna sit and keep throwing negativity in my space. It's gonna end at some point.
But just because you don't necessarily blame Black men for any troubles or things like that, it doesn't mean that patriarchy doesn't exist.
Exactly. That was my next point. Like the thing is, I'm always going to fight the patriarchy. I've been fighting it since I was a little kid. When my dad told me and my sister that we were supposed to cook and clean and my brother could go watch TV, it was a wrap for me right there. I was like, hell nah, his ass gonna get up here and wash them damn dishes. I'm not, he gonna know. Like this is when Kai started fighting sexism around 7 or 8 years old. I just want y'all to know I've been in this fight for decades, because as a kid, even then I knew that can't be right. And then when, I like my parents, not my parents, but my mom was kind of religious and I was exposed to the church. And then when they said men were born leaders, and I was like, not these idiots right here. I know I'm smarter than these idiots. It was like in my very young experience, I knew something was wrong with what I was being taught, because I was like, you can't tell me this dummy right here is smarter than me, and he was born to lead. They can't even tie their shoes. Like, please get out of my face. Like it was really apparent at a very young age that something was wrong, and so I was labeled difficult at a very young age.
Of course, because
I was like, I'm not
easiest way to dismiss a young lady, like just she's difficult. Wait, hold on. Difficult. Another one is fast.
Yeah, I was difficult.
If you get any like 3-4 labels,
right? But I was bossy and I was difficult.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was Kai. Young Kai was difficult. All the adults were like, she's difficult, especially the males. And I was like, yeah, y'all can go to hell, because I'm not doing any of this. So I was, and I won't say how bad it was, but it got bad, and they realized that you should just. Eventually, they were like, leave Kai alone, and I was like, okay, that's cool. If you leave me alone, I'm fine. But what I'm not doing is, bowing to these to these sexual stereotypes or gender stereotypes or gender roles, because they are offensive to me. Right. And I knew.
Can you hold that 1 second? I'm so sorry. The dogs I'm watching just made a big noise. I just want to make sure that
go check your dogs.
I need to look. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Mimi, what are you doing?
We have been on here a long time too.
Oh yeah, no, we've been cooking. We've been cooking. I'm sorry. No, it was Mimi. I'm watching two dogs, Benji and Mimi. They're absolute sweethearts. But Mimi is like, she's.
I get it. My dogs passed away a long time ago. I'm sorry for that. It's been years. But yeah, so like I knew it was something wrong. I've been in this game a long time. I've been fighting this sexism and patriarchy for decades, literally. And so it's not new to me. And I will always speak up in terms of like when things are not fair, when things are wrong. And I think a lot of men have a problem with a woman speaking up. Like I said, in the beginning, the manosphere was just running rampant and nobody was checking them. And I was like, yo, y'all don't see these people? Y'all don't see them? And they were only popping up on women's content. They weren't attacking men. So the men in my life that I know are not sexist,
right,
who weren't doing this stuff, they were completely unaware. That was the thing. Like most men at that time when I met you were completely unaware that this was happening. And that was another reason why I was speaking up. Like, yo, y'all don't see this? They're like, nah, we don't. I'm like, they're everywhere. Look, y'all don't know. We didn't see. So that was my motivation to really expose them. But now that they've been exposed and everybody like they're losers, now you're seeing kind of a shift where now instead of them getting all of these followings, people are just dragging them to the
I mean,
depths of hell on the internet.
I'm telling you, even in the pro Kevin Samuels spaces that I enter, right, or the pro man, not just Kevin, because a lot of them are Kevin Samuels ones, but like pro manosphere just in general, right? I see a lot of guys being like, nah, like, what are you talking about? You know, like this is weird. You're like, you know, and a lot of the loudest voices are the ones that are most obsessive about specific points. So you'll see there'll be like one or two guys that always talk about Lizzo. There'll be one or two guys that always talk.
And that just means they're attracted to Lizzo. Like if you are obsessively talking about Lizzo, because I pay attention to people's little subtle behaviors. Like if you keep making posts about Lizzo, you following everything that Lizzo does.
This is that I agree. Well, can we pull up, please? Can we pull up the picture of Kawan talking about how some man said that he looked young? Because the same way you said,
is the one I put up or is another one?
No, it's another one. It's another one. There's one where it's like,
all right, I'm gonna put. Is it this one?
No, it's after that one. Hold on. It's after that one. It's just a post. It's just him by himself.
I think I see it. Okay, hold on.
Wait for. Okay, here it is. Okay, I said I just turned 40. He was like, really? I would have never guessed. I was thinking 28.
Is that his profile pic? No abs
yes, ma'am. That's his profile pic, looking like a grinder photo. What are we talking about? He's like, LOL. I be thinking and feeling I'm young too. Man, listen. This Negro said too much homosexual stuff to me.
And that's the thing. I wish, like, you know, I hate that sometimes these guys are like DL guys that are having gay whatever. I hate that they are tainting our LGBTQ
100%.
community. Like I don't I don't associate them with gay people. Like you ain't part of that community.
Not.
But your homosexual attraction to men is obvious to us. Mm-hmm. Like it's obvious.
I put them in a different pocket than my laptop battery is dying, by the way.
Well, we can end it soon. We've been on here.
I was gonna say we either have to end it or I gotta go get my.
We can end it. We've been on here for over an hour, but like just wrapping it up, this guy obviously is attracted to men. Yeah. Because women are not responding to his profile pic. Women don't like on the internet. That doesn't get women's attention. Like women might see it and be like, but they're not adding you as a friend. You know who is adding you as a friend? Gay men. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to end on that one. Well, Chris, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We can do this again. We can
Anytime.
do it again.
This was long overdue.
Like long overdue. We should do it again whenever we can. You know, both of us have.
We gotta get Sarah on here.
Oh go message her right now.
Okay. No, I say less. I really am.
Right now and be like, you got to come to the next one. We can do it like maybe next Sunday if she has time. You have time. You can let me know like you did last time. Like I don't know if I got to work. If I do have to work, that's cool because I usually Sundays I can jump on. So
my laptop is gonna cut off in like 10 seconds.
All right. Well, bye everybody. It was fun.